Hi everyone, welcome to class. My name's Claire and today I'm taking you through a 1 hour chair yoga class. So for those of you who don't know, my plan is to alternate between 45-minute and 1 hour practices so that as the library fills up, you have a bit of a choice of times to practice so that you can fit it in with whatever you're doing in a day. As we move through our practice today, I would love to bring the theme of union through our practice. For those of you who don't know, the word yoga actually means union, and quite often when we think of yoga, we think of the postures and maybe some breathing, and we know it's good for us, but we don't actually know the meaning of the word and what the practice actually is. And that union, it's actually referring to, the word yoga comes from a word that used to refer to a contraption that actually, a yoke that joined oxen to a cart. And in the context of yoga, what they're referring to is basically this contraption was responsible for joining all the parts together. So the idea is basically if the oxen and the cart and the yoke and the driver are all connected and working perfectly, then the journey that they're going to take is going to go well and smoothly. But if the yoke's not connected properly, or part of the carriage or the oxen or the driver are not working together in unison, then the journey is going to be a little bit rocky and not go so well. So that is where that idea comes from. And now when we're talking about yoga and the union in yoga, we're talking about body, mind, breath, spirit coming together and working together smoothly in unison, so that we go deep into our practice and move through our life in a more connected, present way. So the other thing that the union of yoga refers to is the connection between our inner selves and the outer universe. Most of us have this understanding that often what we're feeling or experiencing on the inside is a reflection of the universe, and even on a physical level, what we're made up of is the same stuff that the rest of the universe is made up of when we break it down small enough. So there's a real connection there between ourselves and the wider universe, and when we're practicing yoga, we come more and more to this understanding that we're all connected and everything is connected, and I think all of us have some of that understanding to some degree. So that's what we're exploring in this practice, and the way that we move through our postures and our breath work and our meditation is all designed to help us experience a little bit more of this union that is yoga, and that's what yoga actually is. So today all we'll need is your blocks or your pile of sturdy books, just to get a little bit of height underneath the feet to bring the legs to a right angle. As I said last week, if you've got a shorter chair, you may not need them at all, but just make sure you can reach your feet comfortably flat to the floor. We will also need a strap, and you can substitute that with a piece of robe or a pair of stretchy pants, or anything that you can grab onto with and put a little bit of tension on. So other than that, let's get started, and we can just shift our weight from side to side until we feel our sit bones underneath us and we're feeling even in our seat. And then start to draw up through the crown of the head and feel a pull up through the crown of the head, and there's this sense that our spine is lifting, our shoulders draw back and down. Find the underneath side of our chin and make sure that that feels like it's at a horizontal line, and then move your chin back a little bit so the back of the neck moves into alignment with the rest of the spine. And then we'll close our eyes, just making sure that we're feeling tall but comfortable. And we'll spend the first few moments scanning through our body just to notice how we're feeling today. Leave behind any outside thoughts, forget about what we need to do later in the week or what has been going on in the week so far, and start to drop into the present moment, into your body. as you scan through, we'll pause at any areas where you're feeling tension or a sense of gripping. And we'll pause there to try and start smoothing some of that out just with the focus of our mind, just by visualizing the tension melting away. Slowly move your attention from part to part, smoothing everything out. Visualizing the tension melting away. And then gradually arriving at a really comfortable seat where the body's feeling a lot more soft and relaxed. And then from here we'll move into our belly breathing, which we started last week. So we'll start to find more depth in the breath. This week we won't count it out, but just start to draw out the inhales and the exhales and make sure that they're matching in length. So smooth, long, deep inhale and smooth, long exhale that matches in length. And even though we want the breath to be deeper and we want to be finding this sense that we're expanding our lungs and building up that lung capacity, we don't want it to be strained in any way. There wants to be a sense of ease even though the breath is deeper. And as we start to drop into this deeper breath, we'll bring that movement into our belly. So as we inhale, the belly rises and expands like a balloon. And as we exhale, the belly button falls back towards the spine. Inhale, belly expands like a balloon. And exhale, belly contracts. So if you did last week's class, you would remember maybe that exaggerated movement through our belly that just helps to train our diaphragm to move a little bit more dynamically. And most of us are not actually breathing deeply enough just because of the amount of stress that we've experienced from day-to-day life. And most of us breathe a lot more into our chest, a lot more shallow, and that means the diaphragm's not moving as deeply and dynamically as it should to get that depth. So the belly breathing just helps to retrain that. Keep going, inhale, expanding through the belly, imagine it blowing out like a balloon. And exhale, belly button falls back towards the spine. We'll just do 4 more rounds focusing on this. You can bring your hands to your belly if that helps to get that movement going. You can keep your hands where they are on the thighs. And just keep working to keep the breath deep and smooth. And 1 more round of belly breathing. And then opening our eyes. So we'll continue with a little bit more breath work. This time I want to get that movement that we're working on in our belly moving up into our chest. As I mentioned before, if the chest is the only thing that's moving with our breath, that usually means that our breath is way too shallow. But if we coordinate that with the movement in our belly, we can actually get quite a lot of depth and control as well. So we'll bring 1 hand to our belly and 1 hand to our chest. And as we inhale, feel the belly rise and expand. And for the second part of the inhale, the chest expands and the clavicle bones lift. As we exhale, the chest falls and then the stomach falls. Inhale, belly rises like a balloon. Chest rises. Exhale, chest falls. And stomach falls. Keep going like this. Inhale, belly expands, chest expands. Exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. So by now you've got that pattern going, and you start to find this sense that the movement in the torso, it's like a rippling wave. In the inhale, belly rises, chest expands. Exhale, chest falls, stomach falls. So start to tune into this rippling wave-like motion and keep coordinating it to your breath. We'll go for 10 more rounds. Inhale, belly expands, chest expands. Exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. 9 more rounds. And as you continue on, start to find this sense that the body, mind, breath, spirit are all starting to sync together and work together in unison. This unison is where the practice of yoga lies. The movement is coordinating with the breath. The mind is completely focused on that connection between the movement in the torso and the breath. Do about 5 more rounds. Inhale, belly expands like a balloon. Chest expands. Clavicles lift. Exhale, chest falls. And stomach falls, belly button back to the spine. And 1 more round. And then once you've finished, just release any control over the chest, but keep the belly moving with the breath. Keep the breath deep, deeper than our usual breath, but still with this sense of ease. We're not forcing it in any way. So from here, let's start moving. Open your eyes, and let's start by drawing the left arm in front of us. If you can get it straight, then get it straight, but otherwise we're just going to grab onto the bent elbow and just start to draw this arm across gently. If you can, you might like to bring the arm on top or hook it underneath and start to draw the arm across and straighten it out a little bit more, and then we'll look our head over the shoulder, draw the shoulder down, and let's hold for 5 breaths. So we're either here or the elbow can stay bent a little bit, and we're just using that as leverage to draw it across. And then we're looking over our shoulder. 5 deep breaths. Two more breaths from here. 1 more full breath in, and exhale, releasing the arms. Let's come over to the other side. Left arm draws in front. You can catch onto the elbow and draw the arm across, looking over the shoulder. Or if you can, try and get that arm straight. You can hook the arm underneath, looking over the shoulder, or you can bring the arm on top if that feels better. And we hold for 5 deep breaths. last deep inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Let's grab onto our strap or our rope or our stretchy pants and just have that there just in case we need it. The right arm scoops over the head, fingertips creep down the back, and see if you can grab onto the elbow and draw it behind the head. Now that might not be accessible for some of you, and if that is the case, we're going to hook the strap over our arm just above the elbow. Bring our arm over, you can bend the arm, you can bring it behind the head if that feels comfortable for you, and then just start to draw the strap over to the side. So you're drawing the lifted elbow towards the center of the head. If you can't get the arm behind the head, you can do it in front, that's completely fine. We're either there or behind, or we're catching onto our elbow and drawing it across. Just finding a version that feels good for you. Let's hold for another 3 deep breaths. And releasing the arms down by the side. We'll pause there for a moment, closing our eyes, and just feel the differences between the two sides of the body. It's always nice to do this because we start to really notice how the practice is affecting us, how it's opening us up, how it's encouraging blood flow and stimulating the nervous system. Opening your eyes, let's come to the other side. So again, you've got your strap if you need it. The arm draws up over the head, fingers creep down the back, the other arm comes over the top. We grab onto the elbow and pull it to the center of the head, or we're hooking the strap just underneath the elbow, grabbing on with the other hand. If you can bring the arm behind, then do so, but if it's in front, that's completely fine as well. And we're just gently drawing the arm across. Lifting it as high as what your range will allow. Wherever you are at is completely fine. Hold for one more deep inhale. And exhale, release. And we'll just drop the arms down by the side. Close your eyes and just pause as you feel the two sides evening out. And then we'll open our eyes and bring the right hand, the back of the hand just rests on the small of the waist. Now, if you can reach across and grab onto your elbow, then do that, and we'll just start to gently pull that elbow forward. That won't be accessible for some of us, so again, we use our strap and we hook it just above the elbow and then bring the arm behind, and then use that just to gently pull the elbow forward. We look over our shoulder, and let's hold for 3 breaths. So remember, as we move through our practice, we're always tuned in. So we're listening to the signals our body is giving us. And there's, you should know the difference between just a stretching sensation. And sometimes when you haven't opened or stretched a certain part of the body for a very long time, it can feel a little bit weird. But you will know the sensations that come in when your body's saying, hang on, that's a little bit too far. So as soon as you feel like something doesn't feel quite right, or the sensation gets a little bit too uncomfortable, that's when you need to pull back. It's much better to be really gentle and move towards our edge very slowly, so we're aware of how far we can go safely and comfortably, than it is to push right to that edge and then go, hang on, it's too far now. Because by that stage, our nervous system would have sort of seized up a little bit, and we'll be sending signals to our brain that we're in a stress state, and so the letting go of tension won't be effective anymore. So always move slowly to that edge, And then we come to the other side, hooking the strap or the pants just above the elbow. Hand comes behind the waist. And then just gently drawing it forward, looking the head over the shoulder. And we're breathing deeply here. Check in with your breath and check that you still have that beautiful yogic belly breathing going on, belly expanding with the inhale, belly falling with the exhale. Breathing in and exhale, release. Bring the arms down by the side. Just get rid of the strap now. And just close your eyes to feel that sense that the two sides are evening out. And we'll bring a little bit of shoulder movement to coordinate with the breath now. So as we inhale, draw the shoulders up towards the ears. And as you exhale, slowly just let them release completely. Inhale, scrunching the shoulders up to the ears. And exhale, shoulders melt down. Shoulders are also peeling back as they release. So there's this sense that the chest is opening up at the same time, but just very, very gently. Inhale, shoulders lift. And exhale, peeling back and down, releasing. Let's go 2 more rounds. One more round. Okay, let's move into a little flow sequence now. So we inhale, arms scoop up. The fingertips start to curl down through the center, and as we come down, our forearms just rest above our knees, and we start to hinge forward into a forward fold. Stay there for a full breath in. Exhale completely. Pressing down into the legs to slowly come up. And we go again 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips curling down, round down, forearms coming just above the knees, and we're hinging from the hips. Forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Pressing down into the legs to slowly come up. Here we go again. Explore your full range of motion. Bring the arms as far back as what your range will allow. Fingertips curling down and inward. Forward fold, resting the forearms above the knees. This time we'll bring a little bit of spinal movement into it. So pressing down into the legs with the arms, the shoulders peel back, the heart opens forward. We're arching through the back just a little bit, and then exhale, collapse back forward. Pressing down into the legs, rounding up through the spine. And this time we're going to imagine that we're gathering up space of something from our lap, bringing it up to our belly, interlace the fingers, or you can just keep the hands where they are, but we're just flipping the palms forward. The palms press forward and we round through the back. So either interlace fingers or just pressing the hands forward like this. Inhale, straighten through the spine, arms reach up over the head. And then again, we're exploring that full range of motion. Feel as though the arms are carving out space behind you. And then again, we gather up space from our lap to our belly. Flip the palms. You can either have them interlaced or apart from each other, and then we press forward as we round through the back. Inhale, coming to straight spine, reaching the arms up over the head, and exhale, reaching out to the side. We keep going. Inhale, gathering up space from our lap to our belly, and either interlace the fingers or keep them apart, and then we flip the palms forward, rounding through the back. Inhale, coming up to straight spine, bringing the arms as far back as They will allow, even if your arms are here, that's completely fine. And then we carve out space, exploring our full range of motion. Let's do 2 more rounds. Exhale, pressing the palms forward. Inhale, straightening through the spine, bringing the arms up over the head. And exhale, carving out space. 1 more round. Inhale, gathering up space from the lap. Exhale, rounding through the back, pressing the palms forward. Inhale, straight spine. And exhale, carving out space. Good. So from here, we keep flowing, arms scoop wide. We come back to the movement we just did earlier, where the fingertips curl down and we bring our forearms just above the knees, hinging from the hips, folding forward, peel the shoulders back, open through the chest, look forward. Exhale, folding forward, pressing down into the forearms. We come back up to straight spine, and this time the arms come out to the side. We twist to our right. So you might just go a little way, that's completely fine. If you feel comfortable, bring the left arm across, catch onto the leg, and use that as leverage to pull around into a deeper twist. So just wherever you end up, that's completely fine. You might be reaching the arm out on this angle, or you might be here. Let's hold for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head as we come to the center. Exhale, bringing the arms out to the side, and then we twist the other way. To our left. You can either stay here, or if you can reach, one hand, the right hand comes in front of the left leg, and you can use that as leverage to pull around into a deeper twist. Or we just stay here with both arms extended and just moving towards that edge, wherever we feel comfortable. Breathing in, arms come up over the head as we come to the center. Exhale, the arms come down by the side. Have a moment's rest before we go again. Relax the arms, close your eyes, and just tune into any sensations that might reach from the shoulder joints all the way down to the fingertips. It's all sorts of things going on in so many systems as we move our bodies. We're moving synovial fluid through joints, we're moving lymphatic fluid through our lymphatic system. We are toning the nervous system. Increasing the blood flow. And then let's go again, arms extending out to the side. Twisting to the right. Just stopping wherever feels comfortable for you. If you can reach across, then do so. Use that as leverage to take it a little bit further. Stay for 2 more breaths. We're looking towards that back arm. 1 more breath. And as we exhale, slowly start to release, bring the arms over the head. And slowly twisting the other way. Arms come to a horizontal line. If you can reach across, reach across. Use that as leverage to take it deeper. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And exhale, slowly coming forward, arms scoop up. 1 last time, curl the fingertips down, rest the forearms just above the knees and feel into that hinging at the hips. So we're not rounding through our back here, our spine is pretty straight and we feel that nice deep hinging at the hips. The base of our spine feels like it's moving forward. And then with the next inhale, draw the shoulders back, feel as though you're lifting the heart forward a little bit more. Exhale, collapse forward and pressing down into the forearms to come up. Good. So we'll close our eyes for a moment and just notice how we're feeling in our body in this moment. Let's do a standing sequence. So I'm just going to bring my chair around to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So we'll use our chair as support and bring the left hand to the chair. Spread the left toes and ground down through that left foot so you're feeling stable and supported on that leg. And you can bring the right hand to the hip or just drop that arm down by the side, your choice. Good. Okay, so from here, we bring the right leg forward and we'll do some ankle rolls. So as we inhale, peel the toe back towards the body. As we exhale, the toe and the knee rotate out to the side. So we're rotating the head of the femur in the hip socket. And then we start to point the toe, the knee rolls forward, and then the knee draws inwards as far as it can. The toe moves inwards as much as it can. And then that completes the full circle. So we're tracing a circle with our toe. But the movement ripples all the way up to the head of the femur. So as the toe moves outwards, the knee moves outwards, and the head of the femur moves into an external rotation. And then move into a point, the toe moves inwards and the knee moves inwards, and then we're moving into an internal rotation. So let's do 5 more circles. Have a rest whenever you need to. Releasing that leg back, and we come to the other side. Left leg extends forward. Make sure that you're grounding down through that right foot. And then the toe traces outwards, the knee moves outwards, so we're externally rotating. We're feeling the head of the femur in the socket moving all the way around, and then we come into a point. The knee moves inwards, we trace the toe inwards, so we're internally rotating. And then we continue to make these circles, 5 more rounds. And always remember your deep breath. And releasing the left leg down to the floor. So we'll bring our right hand to our hip, ground down through the left foot, and then start to lean the torso forward and bring the right leg behind us. So that might be enough for some of you, but what we're trying to find is a bit of a diagonal line. So from the crown of the head down to the toe, it's in a straight line. Some of us can dip forward a little bit more and lift that leg up. Some of us might even be able to move forward towards a horizontal line. But just take that as far as what feels comfortable for you. And you've got the left hand there for support. We're moving that right leg behind us. See if you can point the toe, or you can stay on the ball of the foot and feel into a straight line from crown of the head down to the foot. You can start to dip forward. You can keep a little bend in the left knee if that feels better for you. Dip a little further if that feels comfortable. Stay for 1 more deep inhale. Exhale completely. And then coming through, bring the leg through. And then let's draw the knee up for a breath. And exhale, drop the right foot down to the floor, and then we'll come over to the other side. So now we're grounding down through the right leg. The left leg extends out behind us. We start to dip forward. Stay for a breath. Slowly, slowly come through. We draw the left knee up. And dropping that foot down to the floor. We go again, dipping forward, bringing the left leg behind us. We can either stay on that toe or point through the foot if that feels comfortable for you. Try not to let the body flatten and that hip lift up. We're trying to keep the hips square. Start to dip forward if you feel comfortable. Stay wherever you are for a breath. Exhale. Inhale, we slowly come up, draw this leg through, draw the knee up. And exhale, place that foot on the floor. Now the left leg comes forward and we come into those ankle rotations. So the knee comes out to the side, we point through the toe, externally rotating, feel the head of the femur rolling around to the side in that hip socket. And then tracing those circles. And always remembering that we're breathing deeply here. Two more full circles. And then bringing that foot back, having a moment's rest, and we'll go one more time. And then when you feel ready, right leg comes forward, toe traces back, we externally rotate and tracing the circles with the other leg. And then bringing that leg back, and we'll do the whole sequence again, and we'll join all of that together. So, grounding down through the left foot, right toe comes forward, and we peel the toes back, externally rotate, trace the toes out to the side, and we'll just do 3 circles, feeling that movement move all the way up into the hip. And then bringing that foot back, we bring the body into that diagonal line. And you can either just touch the toe back and just lean the torso forward, or you can lift the leg and take it into a little bit more of a diagonal. Some of us might even feel comfortable bringing it into a horizontal line, but for most of us, this will be quite enough. One breath. Coming up to straight, you draw the knee up, deep breath in here, and exhale, place the foot on the floor. Straight away we come over to the other side. Grounding down through the right foot. The left leg comes forward. Inhale, peel the toes back. The toes trace out to the side, and we bring them through those circles for 3 rounds. Again, connect with that feeling of union. The mind is completely focused on the connection between your deep breathing and this movement. Bringing the foot back and then behind, body in a diagonal line. Take it a little bit further if that feels comfortable. We'll stay here for a breath. Again, make sure you're not opening out that hip and flattening the body. We want to keep the hips square and the left hip rolling down. Bring the leg through, draw the knee up. Stay for a breath. And releasing that leg down towards the floor. So now I'm going to bring my chair around again so you can see, but I'm going to bring both of my hands to the top of the chair. Make sure it's sturdy. And then we walk the feet back, keep the feet in parallel, and start to move the hips back, and see if you can start to bring your chest down towards the floor. So we want to find ourselves in a right angle. You might find that you need to walk the feet back a little bit more. And if you're here, that's completely fine. All we're looking for is that hinging feeling through the hips, and you might reach a point where you start to feel the backs of the legs and the hamstrings starting to open up. But if you feel comfortable, bring the body all the way down into a right angle and start to drop the chest down towards the floor. But before you come down, make sure you've got a really sturdy chair. You might even want to use a kitchen bench or a table for this. Stay for 2 more breaths. One more breath. Exhale completely, pressing down into the hands to come up. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet forward, sorry. And then we'll come into a very, very gentle back bend. So holding onto the front of the chair, we are going to start clenching through our glutes and our core, and feel as though you're starting to lengthen through the lower spine. And then from here, we're just going to take a really gentle upper body arch. So imagine that there's a ledge underneath your scapular bones, and you're just trying to peel the scapular bones back onto that ledge. So all that's happening is, in terms of back bending, all that's happening is I'm peeling my shoulders back and lifting through my heart. And while I'm doing that, I'm making sure that my core and my glutes are engaged, and I've got that lift happening through the lower spine. So let's do that together. From here, start to lift through the lower spine, engage through the core and the glutes, and then imagine a ledge underneath your scapular bones, and you're just trying to peel the shoulders back to lay a little bit more of the scapular bones onto that ledge. Keep length in the back of the neck. Feel as though the heart is lifting towards the ceiling. Stay for 1 more breath. And exhale, coming up to straight spine. We'll fold forward again, walk the feet out, and start to feel into that hinging at the hips. And that might be all that you focus on, that's completely fine. The tailbone moves back. You start to feel a slight stretch through the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, maybe the calf muscles are starting to open up. If you feel comfortable here, you can walk the feet out so the body is at a right angle, and start to drop the chest through the arms. And wherever you're at is completely fine. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Pressing down into the hands and slowly walking the feet forward, coming up to a straight spine. And grabbing onto the chair. Again, we lengthen through the lower spine, squeezing through the core and the glutes. And we start to lay the scapular bones back on that invisible ledge. So a very, very gentle upper body arch. Squeeze the shoulders back and down, feel the heart lifting up to the ceiling, and keep length in the back of the neck. We don't want to drop the head all the way back. We just want to gently look up. Hold for another breath. And then we'll very, very, very slowly come up to straight spine, and we'll make our way back to our chair. Beautiful. So now we'll come back into the forward bend that we practiced in our flow earlier, but we'll stay there a little longer. So arms scoop up over the head and the fingertips curl downwards, and then we rest our forearms on our thighs just above our knees. If you've got a pillow or a cushion or a bolster handy, you might like to use that to pop over the legs and just drape forward like that. Or you might even find it's comfortable to bring the arms to a triangle and press the hands together and just lean forward into that. If you feel comfortable, you might even like to bring the hands down to the ankles and nuzzle the belly into the thighs. But for most of us, we'll be quite comfortable here, just as long as we're feeling into that hinging at the hips. And once we're there, we'll close our eyes, start to find the depth in your breath again. Smooth, deep breaths, and the belly is expanding and falling. And so our mind is starting to tune into that rhythm of the breath. Mind, body, breath starting to sync and unite. Let's stay here for 5 more breaths. And one more full deep breath here. Exhale completely. And then pressing down into the legs, slowly, slowly coming up. And we'll finish with one more little gentle back bend. So if you can, grab onto the back of the chair with both hands. If you can't, that's completely fine. Just reach the arms behind you as far as they will go. So if you've got a hold of the chair, you start to move the tailbone back, move the belly forward, and squeeze the shoulders together and start to lift through the heart. And again, we don't want to drop the head all the way back. We keep length in the back of the neck and just gently looking up to the ceiling without dropping the head back. And we stay for 5 breaths. If you're not grabbing onto the chair, same thing pretty much. We're just moving the arms back as far as they will go. And then we're rocking forward on our hips. The tailbone is moving back. The top of our hip bones are moving forward. Our belly button's moving forward slightly, and we're just trying to squeeze our shoulders back and lift through the heart. And we're looking the head up, but we're not dropping the head back. Keeping length in our neck. Hold for 3 more breaths. Last deep inhale. Exhale, releasing the arms down by the side. Let's have a moment's rest before we do one more round. Close your eyes and just tune into the sensations. And then open your eyes and we'll go one more round. Start to move the arms back, palms facing back. Move them back as far as they can go. If you feel comfortable, you can reach back and grab onto the chair. And whichever version we're moving into, the top of the hip bones move forward, the tailbone moves back. So we're rocking forward on that ball of the hips. And then the belly button starts to move forward. The shoulders start to squeeze back and we're pressing our chest through. And just gently looking up, lifting through the heart, keeping length in the back of the neck, not dropping it back. Let's hold for 3 more breaths, knowing you can come out and rest anytime you like. ready, opening your eyes. Come and sit back onto the chair. And come back to your comfortable seat with a straight spine, shoulders drawing back and down, the back of the neck moving into alignment with the rest of the spine, and we'll close our eyes. Let everything become completely still. And we'll spend the next couple of moments scanning through our body just to notice what feels different, noticing how our practice today has affected our body. And you can start with the most obvious things like certain joints might be feeling a little bit more freedom. You might feel a little bit of extra warmth, or the pulse, or the heartbeat. Deeper you tune in, the more you notice. And again, tune into that sense that there is this growing union between body, mind, breath, and spirit. All these things going on in the physical body, all these systems working together as one. And a part of that system, there's the breath. And the mind is settled in on that connection between what's going on in the body and the breath. Notice how the breath is moving the body. And as body, mind, and breath start to sync, you might also like to imagine that the subtle dance of the internal spirit is also sinking in with that too. And as you visualize and imagine that all of those parts of you are starting to sync and work together as one unit, just like the yoke, the contraption joining the cart, and the oxen or horse and the rider. You might also like to imagine that all of these parts of yourself are also syncing and uniting with the universe around you as well. And once body, mind, and breath feel a little bit more in sync. And you start to shift your awareness to syncing the internal parts of yourself to the external. You might like to shift your awareness outwards a little bit and just take in external sounds and sensations. And maybe contemplate how you are not so separate from the world around you. And your own body mimics a lot of what happens in the world around you as well. Just like the world has seasons that change, our body does as well. Has its own systems and cycles and seasons. And just like the rivers bring water through to streams and waterways through the entire body, our blood vessels also bring fluid through our entire body. We also have this network of rivers and streams that help bring life to every corner of our body. Just as the rivers and streams of the earth bring life to every corner of the earth. And maybe contemplate how when we break things down small enough, we're made of the same stuff. Made of the same matter that is found in the world around us. So we're really not so separate at all. And when you think about it, it's quite an amazing feeling to think about all these things. All of the parts of ourselves unite. We can start to travel through our life a lot more smoothly, just like that oxen pulling the cart. And when we tune more into that connection between ourselves and the outer universe, that's when we start to find a little bit more wonder in life. We start to find that childlike wonder a little bit more again. And we start to remember how amazing this world and the universe really is. For the last couple of moments, let's come back to the breath, but make sure the breath is settled right down into your natural, everyday breath now. And hopefully that natural breath will be a little bit slower and deeper than our usual breath, the breath that we started with at the start of our practice. we'll just start to rub the palms together and create a bit of warmth between the hands. And once we've created a bit of warmth, bring the hands over the eyes and just feel that warmth pouring into the head. You might like to give the brow and the jaw a little bit of a massage as you bring the hands away. Hands to heart and then down to the legs. And thank you so much for practicing with me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Next week we'll go back to a 45-minute practice. If you have any requests for next week, please let me know. But otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you all next time.